We have just finished the construction of our sensory integration room at the Therapeutic Stabilization Center on our main campus in Worcester. The whole purpose of the sensory integration room is to give the youth at the facility a place where they can go to self-regulate if they're feeling overwhelmed or anxious during the course of the day. It's a place where they can choose to go, and they can use any one of the activities or modalities that are in that room to help them calm down, regulate themselves, and just kind of work through the issues that they're having themselves. And so far we've seen remarkable results from having the room here on our main campus.
The children enter the stabilization center in crisis, and many of them are highly dysregulated. Their stress response system is oversensitized, and they just can't calm down, usually precipitated by some crisis that has occurred in the family. One of the tools that our NMT clinicians have is the NMT metric, and that helps us determine how different parts of the brain are functioning. And many of the kids that we are working with, their lower parts of the brain are disorganized and weakened. And that ability of our brainstem to organize, make sense of, integrate all the incoming stimulation for many of these children is compromised. We want them to start healing from their trauma, but we can't do that real work, that in-depth work, until they have the ability to gain control of their impulses. And part of that is helping them to calm down, strengthen, and organize the lower parts of the brain, particularly the brainstem, which is the focus of the sensory integration room.
The goal of this room is to change everything for the kid and to address their senses and to change the sound, what they see, what they can touch, what they can smell. From the soundproof walls to the hyperallergenic carpeting, it does that. One of the things that was put in here was this hammock. While it seems like a little overwhelming and takes up the room, it's beautiful, but it also allows the youth to lay down and it cradles them. And rocking is one of the methods used to help them regulate and assist them in calming down. This mural on the wall allows them a different type of scenery and actually couples very well with the hammock next to the beach. And using the sound in the room and the speaker system, you can actually put on ocean waves and create a little bit more of a sense of relaxation. We have what's simulated as a skylight above us to allow a simulation of natural light and the sky, and that's helpful for the kids. Also in the ceiling are different color changing lights, and so it allows you to take down all the other lighting and allow a soft changeover in the lights to create a sense of relaxation as well. We promote elements of control for these kids, and coming in this room, they get to choose where they land, they get to choose where they sit, and there's definitely different options for them, and where they feel comfortable is up to them. So they can come and lay on the couch, they can sit on the couch, they can sit in the chairs with the different textures on them, they can pick up pillows or anything to fidget with. One of the best tools we probably have in this room and outside of this room is a weighted blanket. We have a couple in this room. And wherever they choose to land, a lot of them will ask us to cover them up with the weighted blanket. Our weighted blankets and lap pads can help provide a sense of calming and relaxation, especially during times of stress. The massage chair is interesting and one of the top choices when a kid comes in here, and it allows us the ability to do massage therapy without touch, because a lot of our kids' trauma histories, they are not comfortable with touch. Towards the end of the completion of the sensory room, Schumacher donated some aromatherapy items. Aromatherapy can affect mood and how we think and feel. They can choose their own aromatherapy blend and help support and enhance their mental well-being. They also coupled that with the fidgets that are in the basket, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes. They use the refreshing sprays to add aromatherapy to their fidgets. Fidgets can help improve concentration and attention to tasks. When placing the finishing touches on this room, we just felt like something was missing. So I got with Dave, and he threw out some ideas, and what we come up with was the interactive bubble tube. It is definitely the first thing you see when you come in the room. The kids enjoy the sound that comes from it, and you can interact with it, which changes that from everything else in the room. So it has the ability to connect to the cube, and when you flip the cube, it changes to the color that's on the top. So you can pick this up, turn it, change the colors, and interact with the tube. It also has a control panel that has different games on that. So everybody's familiar with Simon. You can play Simon with the lights in the bubble tube. The bubbles are also interactive with the sound in the room. If you choose a setting on the panel, the bubbles will interact with the sound of the music and dance to that rhythm.
Another way to describe this room is a multisensory experience. So, for example, we have the bubble tube, one of the more popular items that the kids like. So, when the kids touch it, they actually feel the vibration of the bubbles. That's one sense. They can see the bubbles moving around, and it changes color. And they also can hear the bubbles moving through the water. So it interacts with all these senses. And also, they can sit down. There's a soft seat for them to sit down on it. And it's interactive is the neat thing about it. With our experience with Dr. Perry and the neurosequential model of therapeutics, what has helped us with our programs is to help us move away from the idea of focusing so much on having our staff hold these children accountable. What we're focusing on is helping them develop the capacity to self-regulate. And we do that many times by starting with focusing on the lower parts of the brain through somatic sensory interventions. And much of that is done in a room like the sensory integration room. Once the children can develop that capacity to self-regulate, then maybe we can start talking to them about taking responsibility for themselves, those higher level intangible concepts that they need the upper parts of the brain to understand.
My experience in here has been one that I've never had. For example, I had a young lady who was placed in our building, or actually was accepted to our building, and then she took off and was missing for 2 weeks. When the police found her, they brought her to our building, completely dysregulated, completely in a state of hyperarousal. She could not calm down, so I brought her down to the room. And we entered the sensory room, and of course that got her attention right away. And she went over and she laid in the hammock, and I kind of pulled it a little bit to help it start swinging her and put a weighted blanket on her. And just within 2 minutes, she was in a state of relaxation. In that moment, we were then able to incorporate and begin the assessment process with her and bring a therapist in this room with her and essentially help her feel safe enough to begin working through what she was going through.
The work that the staff have been able to do in the sensory integration room, it's priceless, really, the results that we're seeing with our kids. And I would really like to thank Schumacher Homes for the partnership with the Village Network in helping us construct and develop the room. More specifically, I would like to thank Steve and Cheryl Shapiro for their continued support of the Village Network and for their very generous donation to make the room a reality. Without them, the sensory integration room definitely would not have come to fruition as quickly and as soon as it has, and we would not be getting the results with our youth that we are right now. So thank you both.